to the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state, nation, and world that we live in. So proud to have you here. So good to, and we're trying our best to go live on Instagram, but as we have seen so many times, it's a pain. Got it. It's up now. Holy mackerel. Thanks for playing along. And it's good to see you here. There are a couple of stories that are absolutely horrible that I think we need to talk about. And one of the first stories happens at the Grand Canyon. I was just with my lady and her, I got to think of some name, and her beautiful daughters, and then intern Beans, intern Nuge, down at the bottom of the Grand Canyon doing the rafting thing. And we looked up, you could see at one point when we're in the river, you could look up and see the skywalk. I don't know if you understand what that is. For those that don't know, the Grand Canyon has a skywalk. It's this big loop with a glass bottom that you walk out on, and you were looking straight down the Grand Canyon, and it is up there. There were very few things in the entire trip down the Grand Canyon that I saw that actually highlighted exactly how deep you were in a canyon, except for the thought that when we took off from the Havasupai Lodge and went down to the bottom, it was a 4,000 plus drop in elevation, 4,000 foot drop in elevation. Woo! So I knew that was, it was pretty hot, but you don't really get your head around that. 4,000 feet, you're like, yeah, you're driving up to Flagstaff, there you're at 3,000 feet, now you're 4,000 feet, you're at 6,000 feet. You don't really get your head around looking at up or down 4,000 feet. And so seeing that skywalk was like, wow, that is absolutely amazing. That is way, way up there, and we're way, way down here. And that's one of the reasons why it took us, 2.5 hours to get back from where we left off in the morning. But the tragic story out of the Grand Canyon, a 20-year-old has fallen to his death at the Grand Canyon. Now, we're not going to poke fun at any of this. The poor kid was on a mission, for the love of grief. He's on a mission trip. And he was from North Carolina, and he fell 400 feet at the Pipe Creek Overlook, and he was just near the edge, and he suffered a fall. Now, there's no other details that are being released on this thing, none. But I start putting two and two together. Again, not bashing on the kid, just exposing something that I think we all needed to kind of be more vocal about, because it's absolutely crazy. I would assume 20 years old on the trip of a lifetime, seeing something that, what's up, Lynn? Seeing something that he's never seen before, get to the edge, get that picture. What's up, Eddie? Get that picture. And then, and unfortunately, kid falls 400 feet to his death. And a lot of this is called death by selfie, and it's a thing. So I've talked about this in the past, years and years ago. I talked about this, but I didn't know it was so prevalent. I had to look it up. And again, we don't have the details. The kid might not have been taking a selfie, but he definitely wasn't following the rules. I'll tell you that much. The rules are stay on the paths and stay at least 6 feet away from any edge of the canyon. That was not following the rules. And again, not an infraction that's worth his life, but I'm guessing that it had something to do with taking a picture. So I went and did some research, because I actually do, believe it or not. Since 2008, they have been studying this phenomenon because of the prevalence of social media and cameras and cell phones and all of that. That's when this started. So death by selfie is a thing. In 2015, a survey by the Erie Insurance Group found that 4% of all drivers admitted taking selfies while driving, leading to at least 20% of those resulting in an accident. So in the United States Department of Transportation, estimated in 2014, they called 2014 the year of the selfie. 33,000 people were injured while driving and using the cell phone in some fashion, which could include talking, listening, or manual button control activation. The hell is that? Anyway. And then this is globally. So here's what we got: over 500 selfie deaths since 2018. If they stopped the count in 2017. So 2018 was when they stopped the study, but they kept the running total of death by selfie all the way to 22. Okay, so no, 2024. So here we are. We have some 2024 nominees. I don't know if you caught this, but a 17-year-old rapper accidentally shot himself while filming a video for Instagram, pointing his gun at his head, and he accidentally pulled the trigger because he was playing with a loaded gun. Again, that's even if you're streaming, that's called death by selfie. So that's where we are with that. And I got to tell you, they break it down by country. It's absolutely amazing. What's up, Grizz? Yeah, you've seen folks on teetering ledges out there. So Jim throws this in. It's good. This one. Okay. He's seen people teetering ledges out there, not even close to the pass. Eventually, we see a few take a fall. Yeah. And this kid, unfortunately, fell to his death and just not following the rules. And you're thinking that, you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof when you're that age. And you think, there's no way I'm not going to survive this. And then that isn't the case. What's it? And then let's see here. Matthew says, it's like walking to an intersection traffic hole, looking at your phone. Yes. I mean, it's so wild how addicted we are to these things. They're in our hand all the time. They're there for us to find all the world's information, and we just can't pull our heads out of it. I think the average person checks their phone, picks up their phone, and checks it at least 200 times a day. If you don't believe me, check. Yes. That is, yes, right. No, Eddie, you'd think that we would do a death by selfie FAFO, but that's kind of morbid. This is, remember Faces of Death? Back when we were kids, they came out with that video series, Faces of Death. Yeah, a little too morbid for mine. This week's FAFO Friday is going to be on Olympic fails, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. He's going to be first up. And maybe we might even end the show with that guy. Yes, that guy that you're talking about, thinking pole vaulting. How about at Yellowstone? Yeah, the same thing. So the death by selfie list comes all the way to like Yellowstone. And it doesn't have to be selfie. I always laugh at influencers in the wild, which is a funny social media. If you're watching us on Instagram, influencers in the wild is hilarious. It's people filming themselves or the influencers, for the gram. And I would think that if I did fall to my death by doing this and saying, I got to give Grizz, Matthew, Jim, Eddie, I got to give everybody, Lynn, I got to give everybody a great video. I'm going to be here at the edge of the canyon. Then if I did fall, I would say something funny on the way down, and that would just be the end of it. Maybe like what was it? Goofy from the Disney cartoons. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe for the gram, or make me viral. Something. Yeah, something like that is something that I would be remembered by. But this happens, and Matthew, it is a form of Darwinism. In some cases, it is, but I don't think it's sheer stupidity like you see in the Darwin Awards. It's a societal thing, and it's just something. If I get this, I get this reward in the form of clicks, in the form of maybe monetization by a social media platform. Maybe this is it for me. I can do this and push the limits a little bit because it's got to be bigger, bolder, crazier all the time. And then, so again, I don't think it's stupidity as much as I have seen this a lot on social media. I can do it too. They were okay. I'll be okay. It's not the guy that attached a rocket engine to his car to see how fast he could get it to go. That was one of the original Darwin Awards back in the day, back in the old days. And so that's stupidity is what that is. But this, I think this phenomena of death by selfie, and I think it's India. I'm gonna look at. I think it's India like rings the bell. Like Thailand's up in there, the United States, but definitely the top is India. For some reason, these people in India that's their thing. that is their thing, and they people skyscrapers, and it's funny because it gives the cause of the death. But so here we are. In the entire study, the highest occurrences were in India, followed by Russia. And you know why, too? Bears. I've seen so many damn Russian videos or Ukrainian videos, same thing, of people like talking to bears. One I saw this morning was the guy giving a bear a giant lollipop. It was one of the cutest things ever, but he said, just petting it on the head and just, and the bear's just sitting on his butt, and this guy's just he's just holding the thing and eating a lollipop. It was one of the cutest things I've ever seen, but he's talking to him in Russian. And I'm thinking that's literally how people die when that bear comes and asks for his second lollipop, and there's not one to be had, because then your fist becomes the lollipop and it's not pretty. Anyway, India, followed by Russia, United States, and Pakistan. That's right. So I don't know why Russia, India, and Pakistan are so into Death by selfie. There's some Spain in here. Yeah. 21-year-old man was electrocuted and hospitalized in serious condition after climbing to the top of a train to take a selfie with his friends and touching a live electric wire while passing under. Okay, that might be Darwinism. Okay, all right, I'm coming along with you now. I'm coming along with you. I think we're on Darwinism. Yes. No, Lynn, this is not depressing. This is, I mean, okay. Now think about this. Think about the prevalence of social media. Think about how many selfies were taken, how many videos were done, crazy videos, people doing loony stuff, and we're at about 500 in the last 17 years. No, 513 years. So that worldwide. So that can be attributed to somebody doing something dumb, like climbing a skyscraper to get get that one pic that's amazing. That's going to go viral. Everybody's going to share it. Everybody's going to use it. And then but you think in all of that and all the crazy, stupid things we do on social media. I mean, Rob Hunter, we were down at the border. Rob Hunter chased a coyote. I'm not talking about a four-legged coyote. I'm talking about a cartel coyote. We scared him when we parked, and he was doing his business. You know, when you got to go, you got to go. And he was doing his business, and he just stood up, pulled his pants up, and away, left a gift, and then took off. He goes in. I'm the one that's armed. We're around two other armed people, and Rob, just not armed, takes off, just running for the guy. Well, the guy basically wants to interview him, take a picture. I have no idea. But we do stupid things for social media. We do. And in all of the stupid things we do for social media, we have that's right, Brendan. Use a drone. Fantastic. We should just hand Rob my drone. Just say, here, dude, just stop chasing people that want to kill you, you nerd. But on all the stupid things we do, if 513 years worldwide is all we've lost, then death by selfie, though. Chris says natural selection. Okay. I mean, which is Darwinism. Yeah. Cleaning up the gene pool, says Jim. Yeah. But again, if Rob Hunter got capped while chasing a coyote for the gram, for the video, for us to go, TikTok. I don't know if that's thinning the gene pool so much as just that knucklehead being a damn knucklehead. That's really all it is. Yeah. Oh, people are listen. That's what I told my kids when I taught them to drive. When I taught intern Nuge, and this is what Lynn said. When I taught intern Nuge and intern Beans how to drive, and intern Sarah to some extent, I said, look, as long as you understand that everyone else around you is an idiot. Like it's surprising that they knew how to turn the car on and they don't understand a lot of the rules on the road. As long as you go out with that assumption, you are going to be a safe driver and you're going to be fine. You're going to be a solid defensive driver, and that's it. No. Brendan, we're not going back to that. Doing what he loved. Yes, nobody loves dying, falling to their death, doing it for the gram. That's why maybe if I say something funny on my way down, then maybe people say he did it for the love of what he loved giving us our daily dose of entertainment, outdoor entertainment. And not good at all. All right, let's switch it up. But yes, death by selfie is a thing. And it's interesting to go through. You can Google that and you can find the entire list of things that were that happened to people. And I mean things that are just, these girls were out on a log. There's a log that was out there in the river and they were just kind of doing their thing and taking pictures on it, and log rolled over one of them and swept them downriver. Terrible, tragic. But I wouldn't say those girls were stupid. They just don't understand, they haven't been taught. They really haven't been grown up in a world where you can play outdoors and learn quickly what you can and can't do. Yeah, that's exactly the way it is. How about this? There is this kid is never going to live this down. This kid is, and this isn't death by selfie. This is just something happened, Mom, and I made up this story, and the actual scientists got involved and realized my story was a lie, but I'm sticking to it. How about this? A California teen, thank you very much. May I have some coffee and straighten this right out. Okay. There we go. California teen explains he was attacked by a mountain lion. Yes, they did not release the name of this bozo because he's 19 years old from Arroyo Grande, California. He suffered a minor concussion after he was attacked by what he claimed was a mountain lion. I mean, could you imagine? You're just out there having a good time. You got your dirt bike out there running around, maybe some little back spots of this. There's really cool neighborhoods in California. I don't know Arroyo Grande so much, but there's a really cool neighborhood where they have those paths in the back for horse riding, trail running. It's really, really cool. There's some really beautiful scenic stuff out there. But this was last month, about a month ago this happened. And he said he was attacked by a mountain lion. He told officials that initial report that he was riding his dirt bike when the animal dropped from a tree and nearly ripped him off the bike. He alleged that the mountain lion, grabbed his helmet, ripped him backwards, and almost knocked him out just as he revved the throttle and got, quote, out of there. The problem is, okay, this is his quote. I'll get to his quote, and then we'll talk about the serious problem. Initially, I did see something about the size of a large dog, dropped from the tree and barely missed me, said the teen, who later returned to the scene to see if anything else had fallen on him. There was nothing I could have hit my head on. No tree had fallen, no low branches. So here we go. Captain Patrick Froy of the Wildlife Enforcement Division said that the evidence they collected did not support the teen's claim that he was nearly mauled by an apex predator. You ready for this? Our investigation, and this kid's never going to live this down. 19 years old, he's never going to live this down. Our investigation included interviews, collection of evidence in the form of clothing and the reporting party was wearing, and forensic analysis of the evidence. It did not confirm the presence of a mountain lion. Okay? What the investigation did reveal was DNA from Felis catus. That's right, a domestic cat. It was a little kitty cat. Meow. Yep, that's what it was. This kid is never going to live this down forever, ever, ever, never. I was nearly killed by a mountain lion. No, dude, that was Toonces over there, the driving cat. Meow. Yeah. You guys are going to come with me on Toonces? It's OG Saturday Night Live right there. Wow. Yeah, it's California. Yeah, but So there is when you are riding and you're riding at a fast speed and something falls out of a tree and startles you and you get knocked off your bike or you almost get ripped off your bike or whatever, it falls in your head and it was just a cat. It is easy for this. Here we go. Grizz. I'm not putting that one up. So the family programming, sir. So yes, the pussycat did fall from the tree and the man, but basically Game and Fish and law enforcement got involved because this guy said there's a mountain lion that's basically jumping out of trees and trying to take people off of bikes. Now it's, and he goes to school the next day and he's like, oh man, it's a mountain lion attack. Yeah, he's the girl he's gonna ask to prom. He's like, oh hey, almost lost my life. And then it comes out the next day. He's like, yeah, it is. It was a kitty cat. A little house cat. It was a mountain lion. It's a house kitty. That's catastrophic. Nice, Lynn. Well done. All right. That poor guy. Never gonna live that down. I think we all have stupid stories like that. I had a couple of nicknames that were given to me because I'll give one. I was out on an offshore fishing trip, and I was just pulling in this tuna, man. I was just selling it to the cheap seats, man. I'm just revving this thing back. Pole's bent. It's bent, dancing in the top. I'm pulling this thing. Oh, I'm giving this all it got. And I'm pulling in this mighty, mighty huge tuna. And now everybody's like, my gosh, Mike is on this. Like they're like holding my shoulders stuff. I'm like, yeah. It was about probably a 20-inch skipjack. It was just about this big. They laughed. They punked me the entire trip. Because I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it was the first fish of the trip. But I guess I was just so out of practice and so just like, yeah, here we go. Here's the fight. Here's the big fight. This is a tiny little skipjack. Just so you know, skipjack is what they make like Charlie tuna. They make chicken of the sea. Canned tuna. This is what skipjacks are. and that's what it is. But they don't fight as hard as a bluefin or a yellowfin. It's just, or an albacore. Nope. See, it happens to all of us. Even intern Nuge, I'm gonna throw him on his first day of school. Have a great day, buddy. And it is, well, first day of school is a junior in high school. But we were out. I think it was me and intern Beans and him walking the dog, and he's like, "Oh man, I think it's going to start to really storm. I think it's going to." I heard there was hail. A raindrop hits him on the forehead, and he just instinctively goes, "Ow!" He's never lived that down. As a matter of fact, we're punking him on the river trip, on the Colorado River trip, the Grand Canyon trip, punking him about, "Ow! A raindrop hit my head. Ow!" Yeah, there's things you just never live down, and that kid is never going to live that down. Let's get to this, because it is it's making big news up in Montana. A judge says that landowners don't have absolute freedom to kill elk, and allowing public hunting does not infringe on their rights. This is a very, very big case, because this is where land ownership and your rights to, have your private property, that's your private property, you own that land, and conservation collide. So what we had was a bunch of landowners that got together and formed some sort of group, LLC, nonprofit, whatever the hell they did, they got together. But they said that there are 50,000 excess elk in Montana. How beautiful is that? Just think about that for a second, guys. Just give that a thought. Yeah. 50,000 excess elk. Okay. But they're damaging their property. So the elk just move in their little herds, and they got a nice little piece of farmland here. And these guys own, 10,000, 20,000 acres. And they go in to see a herd just destroying all their habitat, really. And so they say, okay, my land, I'm going to take out a couple of these elk. I'm going to fire on them and make sure that they can't do it. No, says the Ferguson County District Court Judge Gregory Todd, ruled that state wildlife managers were meeting their legal obligation to manage elk populations, and that private landowners do not have a fundamental right to kill elk that damages their property. He sided with the Montana Fish and Wildlife Commission. So, okay, I'm already on the judge's side here, because if there is a science-based organization that says, look, we are tasked with managing this group of elk, managing the population, in the state for elk, which impacts the habitat for deer, impacts the habitat for birds. And everything impacts everything else in this whole circle of life biz. And the Montana Fish and Wildlife and Parks both defended the lawsuit that was filed by the United Property Owners of Montana. That was the group they started 2 years ago. And multiple hunting advocacy groups were all on this, like Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, and Skyline Sportsmen's Association, Public Land and Water Access Association as well. So a lot of science-based and conservation-based opposition to this lawsuit. But then now you got to look at the farmer side, the rancher side. This is I've got 30,000 head of cattle here. And you want the elk to just come and just take where they graze. This is my land, and I have a soft spot for them, because I know that landowner tags is a big thing in the Midwest, and in here in Arizona. Oh, my friend Michael bought a fantastic piece of land. Let me tell you who it is. Michael Lecter bought a fantastic place called Cherry Creek Lodge. You go check it out. He thought there was landowner tags. They bought this big place, and then he found out that there's no landowner tags in Arizona. So anyway, there's landowner tags in the Midwest, and these ranchers are saying, I need more, because I need to be able to cull this herd that is decimating my feed for my actual living, what I do, my job. I'm a cattle rancher. So I do understand that. But then this is why we read articles, okay? Instead of just seeing the headline, this is the they have to have limited opportunity like weed. Oh yeah, but Matthew, here's the deal: if I buy 50,000 acres of something, and there's wildlife on my property, and there's season for that, full freezer for me. Mm-hmm. Yes, and Jim, what landowner tags are, if you own a piece of land. You don't have to put it in for a draw or anything like that in some states, and they'll just send you in the mail. Here's your bull tag, your buck tag. Here's your doe tags, your cow tags. Just you can cull the population on your property if you so choose to. That's what a landowner tag is. Mhm. So anyway, now this is why we read. This is the big thing, because people are like, yeah, you know, something, win one for conservation, and these, but at the same time, like, oh, these poor ranchers and all of this. Oh, we get down to the brass tacks of it all. I love this stuff. There is actually a program in the state of Montana that helps ranchers with everything they need to control the populations of elk on their property, including fencing, including deterrence. So the state's like, this judge is like, okay, I get you guys. I understand you ranchers. I get this. And this is, you guys are part of conservation. Ranchers in Arizona are huge partners in conservation, gigantic partners in conservation in Arizona. And they do so much. In Montana, it's a little easier than it is for the ranchers here. But in Montana, the state says, look, we're not just going to let you come out and cap 50 elk today. That's not what we're going to allow you to do, because the conservation agencies want to make sure that they have healthy populations and let them do it right. Here's your few tags. Go take out a couple if you want. But other than that, outside of that, we'll pay for a fence if you want. We will supplement anything you need. We will help you get any deterrence and I don't know what kind of things that you would have, but there's an entire state program for landowners in Montana to get these elk away. Yeah. But again, my job here on the Go Show is to celebrate all things outdoors in this beautiful state, nation, and world that we live in. I don't think it is common knowledge that ranchers play such a huge part in what we do in conservation. I don't think it's common knowledge. But when that happens, and a big tip of the hat, tip of the big old cowboy hat, the big old Stetson to those guys for doing what they do and partnering with our game and fish department and all wildlife conservation departments around the country, it's invaluable to know that and to celebrate these people. You see those dudes running with those, them creasing their jeans. Woo! Dang, man. They crease their jeans, the perfectly pressed button down shirt, big old hat. Just tip of the hat to them, because they are partnering with our conservation departments around the nation, definitely around this state. So kind of crazy, right? A lot of fun. Actually, one quick note, we can probably talk about this tomorrow. Before we wrap up, I was reading an article about the guy that set the record for skeet shooting in the Olympics, and there's like, let's take a closer look at his shotgun. No, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 shotguns. I'm good. I'm good with it. I think my max for a firearm is like $1,400, and those are my babies. So yeah, so just a no. I didn't even look at it. I'm like, why? Why do I want to look at this gun that seriously, someone could probably go out there with a Remington Wingmaster that costs $300 and probably knock a couple of those clays down. Just saying. Remember, our grandparents fished us out, hunted us, out pretty much anything us without any of the tech and the advancements we have today. Always remember that. Okay. Obviously, big news in the world of politics. Rob and I are going to be kicking it off in about a half hour, but we're going to do this right here, the Go Show. We're going to do this again tomorrow at 11 o'clock, celebrating all things outdoors. Thank all of you for hanging out. Thank you all for your comments. I love you guys' comments. I love that we get to put them up on the screen and in funny dad jokes that Lynn threw out there with catastrophic. That's fantastic. But thank you, and share this out, like this, let everybody know we do this kind of fun thing every day at 11. We'll do it tomorrow at 11 right here on the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state, nation, world that we live in. Have a great afternoon, everyone.